Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to our New York session, the final session for the 1 week free we are doing. We give access to the trading room so traders out there can see how it looks like. If you're watching these videos after the fact, which means on YouTube, not live, today was the last chance to join us live and see what it looks like. We are also starting a live trading course in somewhere mid this month. Probably in a week or two we'll start it. The exact date is not known, but I think most likely the 20th of November it's starting. If you're interested in joining, send us a Skype message. Send me a Skype message. Let me just type here. It's MANGAL 457. Just send me a message and I'll give you all the details. Anything, you can say hi and I'll just give you all the details about, or just let me know you're interested in trading course. And I'll give you all the details if you want to join the group as a full-time member. If you can't afford it, but you would still like to be with us, you can join as an installment trader, pay a very small sum every month. You'll get access to 2 live sessions. That money goes towards paying for the course. So it's not a subscription. You're not subscribing to something every month. You're paying as installment for the course, but while you're paying, we give you access to this. I don't think if you buy subscription, it will make you a successful trader. That is not for you to subscribe. That is for you to join the group eventually. But since you can't afford it in one payment, or in some traders pay in 3-4 payments, we allow you to pay in multiple payments until you can, you complete the payment, then you get in the group and you have lifetime access. Lifetime complimentary access. I should say complimentary because some traders, one trader did mess up really bad and he was removed from the group and said, well, you promised me lifetime. I was, no, it's complimentary. You get that, right? You can mess up. So I think we haven't had anybody who messed up for the longest couple of years. That was the early days when people wanted to steal stuff to sell. So coming back to this, if you would like to be a successful trader, I'm pretty much you've surfed the internet as much as you want already. You've watched all the YouTube videos you need to watch. If you think this is what you need to be successful or this is what can help you, join us. If this is not your thing, well, search for where your thing is. You will find it. With that said, let's start. So I'll start with the dollar index. I'll go through all the majors and then we will look through trade setups. We had a lot of trade setups today, right? Setups that had active live trades in them. We will discuss what happened to them, whether the trades were active, what you should have done with them. Now, a lot of the majors might have tagged you, but by rule, as you know, you should close those trades. And before we started recording, I spoke to some of the traders. They were in and they closed the trades, which is very good. If there's anything you learn in here for this week, is that if your trade is not going, get the hell out of it. You're protecting your capital, not the trade. So dollar index, we thought it would make a small running flat, which at that point, earlier was pretty good. The pattern was showing up. And every time you think of running flats, right, you think, well, if the structure is there, it's going to make it. But there are times when, you can be looking at a smaller running flat or contracting flat. I still don't see that option here. Maybe we're looking at, smaller flats in here, maybe this running flat here, something else. But this starts to consolidate. And if that starts to consolidate, you change the pattern, at least to what you have right now. And this is the one that we're making right now. So whatever this was, it's probably a smaller version of the pattern, not the bigger one. So a smaller correction here, and then we make a top and we start to consider. This is still a buy setup. Actually, this is a very nice buy setup because you have a flat in here. You get 1, 2, 3. So it's a complete pattern. You can put the entry here. If there's no news, you put the entry above the top. We're expecting this to take off. So you can put an entry here. It's still a buy setup. It will be a buy setup if it keeps going down like that. If it keeps pulling back and dropping like this, it still remains a buy setup. Should we sell it? No. So at what point do we decide that this could be a sell that will come to break the low? It first has to drop off that structure it's making right now, make a flag here, and then we will go with the sell to break this low, and then most likely to break this low. We'd assume that that's a 1, 2, 3, and we're going. Could it be that, could it be that they're making something more difficult? This is a rare possibility, but sometimes this happens. You end up with a running flat that looks like this, right? This is the first move down in it. You get one up, you get 1, 2, 3 down, you get one up, you get this 1, 2, 3 down here, and then they go right back up. So it's a rare pattern. It's a running flat. It's rare where they come out of the structure, sometime at the bottom, sometime at the top. We looked at a few of these during this week. If you wanted to remember, we discussed them and said, well, if that wasn't happening, what we'd call it a running flat. So if this comes here and go back, it doesn't matter whether you look at these as separate ones, but just be aware that sometimes you get two sharp waves, not with many pieces, but two sharp waves that make that possibility. We will take these as smaller versions now. I just wanted to show you a possibility that exists. So it's a buy setup. That doesn't change. Silver? Well, if you actually took the trade in the Asian session, we discussed taking this trade coming down to the bottom. In the London session, I did not encourage anybody to do that because we're in an open place and I'm not sure how many of you have the skill levels to manage it. You should close this trade now. If you're in the trade, you should close the trade because what we were expecting is this to go right back up to the top here. If it does go, you'll wait for it to go up. You'll wait for it to make a flag. If it makes a flag like this, we will buy that. If you remember yesterday, we bought that. Again, I will repeat the same thing. If it makes a flag like this, and you're not an Elliott wave trader, pro wave trader, you probably shouldn't take this because you wouldn't know where to exit it should it not go to break that top. Right? So if you're not a wave trader and it's not going to break the top, you wouldn't be able to exit the trade. The same warning I give yesterday to traders: if you're not, if you haven't done wave analysis, you don't know the rules, how to exit trades, and so don't take it because I can show you what it can do. It can come here, make a small flag, just break the top and drop. Right? We're not expecting that to happen, but that could happen. So should that happen, you have to know how to exit that trade. We have exited many of those trades during this week. If you missed it or you would like to learn how to do that more, go through all the webinars again. Pause where I discuss that possibility and you might learn something. So we're expecting this to go back here. The only way we're going to look for another sell in this is if it stays here and consolidate. If it stays in a consolidation here, assume it's going to break the low again. Not necessarily drop, but break the low again. Expanding flat could be in play. It could come here and go right back up. I don't think that is all the correction. It's possible, but I don't think so. I think we're going to make a bigger flat here. We started with when this went back, that it's going to be a bigger flat. This is too small. Probably one more up, one down, one up, and then drop. Let's see. Look for the buy setup. Albert, look for the buy setup here. It's a short-term trade, but wait for it. Gold actually dropped very nice. So if you sold gold this morning in the Asian session, you should probably still be in it. If you didn't, again, it's broke below. So the idea was that it would come back more into this here and then go back up. It actually dropped low, so we still expect it to go back up. I still don't like that as the running flat, but if it makes a flag here, we'll go with that. So we looked at this option this morning as a possible running flat with this, right? In the Asian session, I think we did the same thing in the London session, that possibility, but I don't like it. I personally don't like it because this is really sharp and we don't have anything in here. So the assumption is that this is a standalone, probably it's a contracting flat. If this goes back up, we will go with this flat and we can sell, right? If you can get the buy here, good, take it because it might go much. If we're wrong about it and this is the running flat, this might go much higher. So if you get a buy setup here, take the trade, right? That's the first thing. The second one is, well, if it stays here and make a flag, then assume that this is the running flat and go with the sell. Right, remember we're going down with a very, very sharp impulse from the top here, right? This is, let's go back to the gold. Remember, if you remember when you joined us on Monday, what I was saying about forget about the news and what's happening around the world and don't go crazy with gold going up to heaven. You missed that part, go back, watch the webinar. Because I did give a lecture in that it doesn't matter that it break out here. Remember the one guru who says he's never going to sell gold because now there's a war going on somewhere in the Middle East and he knows for a fact that gold is going to go up. It's going to make a little pullback and go. He's waiting for that. Well, we're selling it. And it's working good for us. So if you think you're the person who knows what happens to gold when a war starts anywhere, congratulations. I don't. Good job, because it's falling. And you know what could happen? This thing could get all the way to the bottom here. all the way to the bottom here, right back to this low. And, well, he has promised not to sell it. Let's see if he can keep his promise, right? Because I'm pretty sure he'll be selling as soon as he see a correction here. I know, because I taught him to trade, right? So as soon as he see a correction, he'll be changing that and selling like hell. It's really weird with that phrase, you know, that big phrase, I would never sell it. I wouldn't sell it because it's going to go there. There's war going on all over the world. Yeah. What does gold has to do with that? They don't need gold to fight the war. I don't remember anybody using gold to fight the war, right? So can it be an expanding flat? Of course. Is there a possibility that they're just dropping it here to buy back? Who knows? Any one of us know that? No, we don't. So work with what you have. Work with what you can use and what you can trade. You can buy and sell in this range. We'll do that every day. So there was a sell. If it gives a buy, buy it. If it gives a sell after that, sell it. Don't think twice. Don't put your head around what's happening in the world and say, well, gold can't go for a sell. Please mute yourself. Unless you have a question, and we'll keep the question to the end, right? We'll ask it. So there's no point in which this comes here, make a flat, you see a good sell setup here, and you're thinking, well, maybe there's a war, it's going to still go up, it wouldn't drop. Because you'll be surprised. You will definitely get a big surprise. Take the trade. Don't overthink it. If you do that, then you're messing up with all your analysis if you do that. And then you're not a wave trader. You're anything but a wave trader if you do that. If you're factoring news into the wave patterns, then you're trading, you either don't have confidence in the wave analysis, or you don't know it well, or you're not a wave trader. Because wave traders, we don't work with the news. We trade the news, but not the news itself. We trade the moment of the news. If you trade the news anytime with us, you will know it's a moment of the news we want, not the news. So look for the buy setup, take it. Look for the sell setup, take it. It's going to be a small trade up if it goes. You might start getting a flag here. That should be a good trade today if you get it. Euro, sell setup. Didn't happen. We were expecting this to be just a running flat here and drop. It didn't drop. It went up more. So you change this. You go back to the smaller flag. Take this as the low. That's a deeper correction. It's still a sell. I wouldn't go higher than this point, because this could be making a running flat in here. So probably even keep it under the low. As of now, it's still a sell. There's nothing in this that says we should buy it. So it's still a sell setup. Now, the question is how far it's going to drop. It's Friday afternoon. Can it just break this low and go back up deep? Possible. That's a possibility. We don't know whether this is coming down as a correction or whether that is a drop. So when you don't know that, you go to the bigger picture and see. It could do both. If we had an incomplete pattern here, where there was a need for a correction and an upside, we would know it's not dropping, right? But right now we have this whole thing here. This thing could just drop if it wants. It doesn't mean that it cannot stay here forever. It could stay here for the next week or 2 or 3, come here and then go back up and make a bigger one here, and still drop and go back and make another bigger one and still come here and then eventually go back to the top. This was a small one. This was a small one. They made a bigger one. They go up. They made a bigger one. Who says we don't make a bigger one here? And then continue to make smaller ones to the top before it drops. This thing could stay here for 5 years. Not that it would, but it could. We have seen that. Aussie, New Zealand. I'll show you that pattern when we come to it. So sell the smaller pieces inside and take out it if it doesn't go. If it goes, take the trade. Take your profit off. Pound still a sell. It did drop. You should close the trade and put your entry lower. If it keeps tagging you and pulling back, go to the lower time frame, see if it's a channel. Take it off, trade the channel to the upside. So right now, it's not a channel. It's only 2 pieces. That could be a small running flat. Right? This here could be a small running flat or anything. So it's still a sell. But if it tags you and it pull back again, what you're going to do, you're going to assume that it's making a channel. Right? We'll go with the assumption. This flat worked perfect. That flat worked perfect. It did break. It just didn't go. So when they're breaking in, we have something called an AB squeeze. More like this is probably making a squeeze here, which is a small channel. Eventually goes this way. Either for a deeper correction or retest of the top. So you would ask yourself, do we need to retest the top? No, we don't. Can we make a bigger correction? Absolutely. You made one, we got a flat. You made another one. Who says we can't make a flat here now? Come back here and then go again. That'd be perfect. Euro did that. So we'll get two flats here now. And then we'll look for the trade. We'll see if we can buy that. We'll definitely sell this. We'll buy that, and then this will drop. So the whole of next week, you'll be in a consolidation trading. I don't think most of you will be able to make any trades in there. We'll try our luck. Not that we'll get any trade. We may get a few break-even trades, but we'll see. So if this is going to turn here, a small flag, a small channel is a good idea to tell us that it's turning. Right? What that means, momentum is dying. So this sell is still valid, but be careful. Now, if this is turning, let's assume this was the low. Right? They drop, and they want to go up. They have to break out of this, make a flag here, and only then you start buying. You see, knowing where and how you're going to buy is as important as knowing where how you're going to sell to. So if we're in the sell and this change to buy, you have to be able to see that change. And if you didn't see that as a channel, if you didn't see what I just did, this is the flat, we're making a channel here. If you can watch this piece alone, and if you didn't figure out that the way I showed you, with all the explanations and the possibility of it turning and making a bigger flat and all of that, then you know how much you still have to learn. Right? So let's go. If you sell this and it tag and it start to pull back, don't panic. Move your stop to this stop. Move your stop to here, because the minute the break out of that channel, you want to buy. So if it comes here and it tags and it start pulling back like this, put a stop there. Your stop now should not be here. Stop should be somewhere here, right? But you will move your stop when it gets there, because what you want is tag you and go. If it tags you, pull back here and go through that, then you take the loss, wait for a buy sell. Most times it's not gonna. You see how long they spend here? See how long they spend there? Well, if you notice a tag and it's still like doing this, just close the trade. You want this to drop. That's a trade. It has to drop. Keep going. Every candle has to make a new low. Aussie. This one, some of you got tagged and closed the trade, which is good. If you did that, it's about 2 hours, 3 hours. If you didn't, it's still going to come back, close the trade, put it lower. This one is making more of a bigger flat. I don't think it's actually more like a bigger expanding flat. So it could go there and come back. This is not a channel. This is still part of the correction. So it's still a sell. If you're coming here for the first time, put your entry under the low. If you weren't in from this morning. So I'll leave both to know, both first to know what we're doing. So once it comes back here, what you can do now, once it comes back here, close that trade. It might even go a little lower. Keep this about 3 pips away from that. It might even go back and test this low, but then it could still go back up. The only way you keep this trade is if it drops like this, the next candle open, drop again like that, you stay with the trade. Next candle open, go back there, close the trade. Or even if you want to close it exactly break even, make sure you put this entry order on. So you can put an entry order 4 pips away from the low, a couple pips away from the low, and as soon as this get break even, close it. So you don't have to worry with if it drops. If it drops, it drops, because it's not necessarily going to drop. So here's the thing. Can this actually stop here and go back up? That is a possibility. We do have divergence on the 1 hour and the thing, but structurally, this is very sharp. So I don't see that happening. I don't see this turning and going back up. Turning and making a bigger flat like this is possible. But turning, going back up, unless this makes a big flat here. Let's say we take this out. 1 second. Let's say we take that possibility out, and the only way this turns and go up is it makes a bigger flat here. And then take off. This turning up and doing that is not possible. This is too sharp to be the correction. So if it's going to make a bigger correction, then this can go up. In that case, you'll have a lot of time to, well, you're exiting the trade right where you took it, so it's not a big deal, 4 pips. 2 pips probably you'll take a loss in. How many trades you lost that where you're wrong about that you come out for 2 pips? I doubt many, right? So we'll watch this here what it does. Let's see. We're still selling all of them. This one's still a sell. I think when I came in, a lot of traders said they close it, which is good because it tagged you since in the New York session. Put it a few pips lower, probably about 3 or 4 pips lower. The reason you're staying, because if they come back to the low, you want at least 1 spread, 2 spread away so it doesn't tag you when it goes back up. Because it could come back here and go back up. And if it tags you, go back up, we start looking for exit. I pretty much think they're all going to drop. At least one more impulse, and then we'll see what happens. This coming now pretty sharp, it could get to the bottom. It could retest this low. And if it does, then we'll relook at the whole structure as it's coming down, right? We'll figure out where we put this piece. As of now, we just leave it. Yen, buy setup. If you're in the buy and you want to keep it, you can literally keep it. Take break even if you want to keep it, if you want, because it's gonna still go back up. It's just gonna tag you, go tag you, go tag it. It did that in here, right? So when we took this one, if you closed it, you re-enter, you close it, you enter, just not paying off. It's moving really slow. So either you stay with it this time, stay with this one or this one. If you're the first one, put it to break even. I'm not gonna worry with those we go. So if you take this one, it pull back, it go, put it to break even. As soon as this one go, put it to break even. Because the smaller flags don't come back to this point. This is where we want to get. We want to break that up and turn. So the question is, can we break that up today or next week? I don't know. Once it breaks that up, we start looking for downside. Swiss, magic works, right? This morning I told you, if for those of you who were in only for this afternoon, wasn't in for the London session, watch the webinar. You want to watch the webinar for this, specifically for this one. Because I told you this. The reason we're not interested in this buy here is because it can drop here, make a running flat, and go right back up. You're getting a flag here for one trade up. It's probably just going to move a little and consolidate, maybe even come deeper, go there, because we're making the core correction here. And when you get to that top, when we get to this top, we look for this straight to the downside. But there's a buy setup here forming right now under 15 minutes. It's a good trade. You may want to take it as long as it stays where it is. And as long as it doesn't come back to this low, it's a buy setup. Go for that to break this top. And maybe if it goes slow, no problem. You'll still get some kind of a trade out of it. So I think we just made a running flat and we're going back up. I'll put it like this. If it comes here, it will make a flat. It will make an expanding flat and then go back up. We're not dropping as yet. And I think we'll still go higher and then come down. So this would be the core correction for the bigger flats. We have 1, 2, 3 impulses. CAD. Well, if it tagged you in this one, we close it for positive just above the top. It tagged you in this one. Close it. I think you should have closed it already. Let's see. Yeah, probably close it if it's not going. You can, as a matter of fact, you should have pulled the entry order. When you see it start doing 1, 2, 3, and you know, like this, and you're having an entry there, it's not going. Pull the entry order, wait for this to come back down like this, and then trade it, or wait for it to retest this low, and then see if it goes. So if you're still in the trade, wait for this to go back up a little like this, take it off. Can we put an entry above the top? We don't have a flag. See, this is not making a flag. It's kind of going like this. So you take off this trade. You want this to come back down. Whether or not this is part of the structure, it doesn't matter. Let it come back down here. And if after that it go back up, then you take the trade. If it's going down, we don't have a sell setup, right? So we're not going to buy that anymore. We're going to wait on it, put this like this and wait. See if it becomes a bigger flat. We'll get to that top, but it's going really slow. Euros, the buy is good. Let's see in the hourly if you should close it. Not necessary. You don't necessarily have to close this. Right? You can see the reason. This is the second candle that is going to go sideways. If this one doesn't break the top and the next one doesn't break the top, close the trade. As of now, this could take off. So trade's still valid. Watch it now, because when it breaks that top, if we're making a flat here, it's going to go back down. So the big question is, if we're making a flat here, and we're definitely making a flat in this one because we never broke this low, and we had a deep pullback here. So at some point, if it breaks this top, starts to either make a bigger consolidation and go there, or come right back down. This one is sharp, so I think that's an impulse. This is a correction. But this impulse has a correction here, correction there. So I don't see why this doesn't make a correction and then go. So if you're in this trade and it's not going, take it off. And Friday afternoon, don't put another trade on. Euro in New Zealand, this one it's consolidating. Same thing here. I think this is more than 3 hours. Close the trade. You can put an entry above the top if you want. This one you need to close positive, put an entry above the top. Should it take off? If it's going to drop, and very likely it should come back here. This should come back here first. Make a flat. And then go. Because we're looking, this is pretty sharp. So we're expecting a flat here. Be careful with this one if it's going to tag you slowly. It has to tag you and go. If it does that, then okay. That's what the 15 looks like. It could still go. But if it's going to drop, you want this to drop here, make a flag, and then go for this sell. We're looking at this move now for a possible flat. So if you get a flag here, go for the sell. Anywhere it gives you a flag could be a sell. And then the upside. It's still upside, it's still correcting. And if they make that big flat, I don't think we're going to be breaking this stop. I think we'll just treat this as a bigger correction for downside. Euro yen. Well, it went up, so the sell is not there. Take off this. This wasn't a buy. That's an old one. Actually, we were looking for the sell here this morning, and it actually made a new high, so take this off. We'll probably look for running flat then, because this is very corrective. I don't think that is the impulse up. Unless we put it like this, and that was a slow move up. Put this as a bigger expanding flat here. And that is the move up. Well, then we are not buying above this top. Let it break the top again, and then we look for the sell setup. We need this move before we go. You can buy anything else here. You buy the Euro New Zealand, buy the Euro Aus. They're better set up than trying to buy this, even if it goes. EuroCAD. Okay, it went stronger to the upside. So this sell was off. So this one and that one, if you close them, and you should close them. You see the reason why we close them and re-enter under the low. That didn't go, so take this off. It's still going to go. We just maybe probably break this top again. Let's see what it looks like 15. It should have been a running flat. Well, it gone up, so not the running flat. Take that off. We're not selling it there in any case. Well, we'll just have to assume that this was a small triangular correction of its own, and we're not making a running flat. I still like this for a small flat there. If this is going up to break the top, where would it lead us? Let's see in the 1 hour. Maybe not break the top, maybe repeat this here, 1, 2, 3. So it could go a little more and drop again. That is a possibility. If they're breaking the top, then just let them break the top and then look for the sell setup, right? We wouldn't go with this as a running flat unless it gets one more or it drops some more. So if this, for whatever reason, drops some more here, we can probably go with this as a running flat. One more up and then downside. We don't have a sell setup. We'll just have to leave it. So we'll take this off. We don't have any trade in that. Euro Swiss. Okay, same here. If you sold it, I hope you managed to get out of it. Let's see. We're in the hourly and it kind of tagged you here. Pull back really sharp. Close the trade. Because 1, 2, 3 is possible for one more up. We haven't broken the top, right? So they will go now and break the top. If you didn't close the trade, then put a stop above here. Put a stop here. Because if you break out of this, that's a buy setup for this trade to go there, break the top, and then come back down. So you can take the buy as well. I think if that goes now, it's going to break the top. How high we'll go after that? Let's see in the bigger picture. Can we go much more? Well, if it's not making this running flat with this piece, and it's taking off, the buy is a good idea. And I think the running flat is bigger. We had it higher. We just pull it down because it started to turn. Let me see this one. See if it's the same size. About the same, just a little higher, if anything. Yeah, so this can go break the top. This is a buy setup now. All right, so put an entry here if you want. Take this out. Put an entry here. Maybe with an entry above the top just so that it takes off. You're looking for one sharp impulse to break the top and then down. Just one more impulse. So this would be a buy setup. Euro pound, good buy, right? So this one we closed at the top there, put an entry there. It's still going. They're going to break that top so you can keep this one, put it to break even and keep it. Pause. Okay, it's still consolidating, so it's still a buy setup. We're still consolidating in here. We're consolidating downwards now, which is even better. Still a buy setup unless it drops and make a flag. That's still some kind of a consolidation. So stay with it for now. And if this starts to drop really sharp, this one is the top. See, that one is the top. So if this is a small pullback and this drop like this and make a flag here, we sell. Right? If it drop and make a flag. Unless it drops and give a flag, we're not selling. I think that is possible. Right? That small one at the top there could be the top with a deep pullback. This could be a deep flat for downside. You'll see 25 minutes. So this is the top. This here could be a flat for downside. We're not going to sell it, right? Because it came almost back to the top. So the only thing you're looking for is that this is a flat, like a 1, 2, 3, and this should go up. So the trade is still to the upside. This is still a buy setup, right? The only way you change that to a sell is that it has to move away from that zone. This has to drop much sharper now and then make a flag here. Not in here. If it makes a flat here, it's still upside. If it comes here, make another one, it's still upside. It has to move away from there, make one here, and then go. So in other words, what they have to tell is that the sell orders are coming in so massive. There are no buy orders enough there to stop it. Or there are simply no buy orders, so the sell orders are pushing the price down. And once they get here, make a flag, we'll sell. Hong Yen. Okay, we stay out of this because I think this could go back up. Probably making a big consolidation here for upside. But there's no setup. Not for the buy, not for the sell. Pound New Zealand. Okay, I think we definitely stay out of this. Until we have, so I'm in the 5 minutes, then put it back in the 15. We definitely stay out of this because we don't want to buy this anymore. This is a low, that wasn't the sell. We're waiting for this to come break the low. And this is the core consolidation maybe. So I hope it stays here longer. Go back up there, come back here, go there, come here, and then go. If we find a core correction, we'll start trading all the impulses in a lower time frame. We'll use the 5 minutes and 50 minutes to trade the impulses, these bigger impulses, right? Because the range is about 40 pips. So if you find where the core correction is, no, that's a lot. That's about 167 pips. Okay, that'll be a lot of good trades. Don't buy this one though. Let it go make a top. Because it can consolidate much more. I want it to consolidate much more, and then we'll see. If that is a core correction, trading will be easy. Tonkat? Okay, hope you're not tagged because you're supposed to be that 5-6 pips away. If anybody's tagged in here, you'll be tagged by this one. And you close it on this one. It's just a bigger flat now. We can assume that what it's doing is making a bigger flat here. If this is the low, let's say that's a flat and this is the low, then we're just making something bigger here. You can still put the entry here, but you have to stay away from this low. And about 3 or 4 pips. However, whatever the spread, you can double that spread and stay away. It still looks downside. And then if it drops here and it starts to pull back, close the trade. Because we're still in this. The idea is that it drops through this structure. Right? If it drops through the structure, you stay with the trade. But if it drop a little like this and stop and start to go back up, close the trade. Pound Swiss? Okay. So that's the first pullback on the hourly. Yeah, that's the first pullback. So we don't really close it on the first pullback. So let me see in the 15 if there's a consolidation here. Yeah, there was a pullback here already. I would say put it to break even and leave it. If you're in this trade, there's no point closing it, put it to break even, and let's see how far this goes. This could drop. If this starts to consolidate by coming here and going back up, close the trade here. Put an entry under the low. If it drops through the bottom, good. If it go take you out, you only have 5 pips, no point. This is where you should close it. right? Once it didn't break the low, you could close here. So we're going to do the same thing here now. If it's not breaking through this low, close it somewhere at the bottom here. I'll just put a line where you should probably close it. It will take you like 5-10 minutes to decide that. Don't rush it. It's 3-4 candles. See, this was 1, 2, 3 candle that didn't break the low. That's your clue that, well, they're not going to break the low. And you put an entry under the low. So somewhere in here, it will be the close. Aussie Swiss. Okay, if you're still in this trade, treat this as the first pullback. If you didn't close here, this was consolidating here. If you didn't close it, then treat this as the first pullback. Wait for it to go down. It's going to do two things. It's going to either do like this, close it here because it's going to go back up, or it's going to do like this. Close it here because we're going to go up. So either way, you're closing that. See, wait to see which one it does. You don't have to chase it. It's not going to go up right now. We do have a lot of divergence here, right? And I think we're kind of channeling here, maybe ending diagonal even. Something like this. So if it is not a channel or a diagonal, what's going to happen is it's going to start to consolidate here and drop through that structure totally. Normally, this one should have dropped through, but it could consolidate there. If it's going back up into the channel, right, which means that the channel is still bad, you're going to start to make a flat here for downside, or you're going to make a flag here for upside. So take break even, right? Aussie yen, still a sell setup. Actually, it's even a better sell setup now because you're getting this flat here, right? You got that move up, you get this down, let it go back here, and then sell. Can it make this one go back up till to the top? It can, but I don't think that's what it's doing. Aussie Swiss, Aussie CAD, sorry. Sell setup. We finally got a sell setup here now, so you can put the entry order in. All of those are Aussie trades. Aussie could drop. All the Aussie trades have sell setups on them. Aussie, New Zealand definitely sell setup. So if you close this and re-enter, you can do that. Or if, like I said, this is one you can literally stay with for a longer period of time. But this one moves slow. In general, it moves slow. I think we're making a flat there and then it's going to drop again. So from the top, we're selling this and it's moving really, really slow. I think this was the only sell we missed. I wasn't there. Maybe some result, I don't know what that happened while I was off and then it came. We start selling from here. And as you can see, this one you can keep. Let me show you why. This pattern is going to happen. So if you're keeping these, that it's going to slowly get to the bottom. And I think some brokers give you positive rollover if you sell this. All right, so this is the pattern we forecast. Let's see how that plays out. If you want to close and re-enter, no big deal. Take very small profit out every time. New Zealand yen. We get, so if it consolidates here, we sell. We definitely sell this if it consolidates. If it goes back to the top, make a new high, we look for a sell setup. There's no buy setup here. It only looks like it's consolidating, right? This could actually push upwards, make a flag, and just keep going up. If that's the case, we're going to have this as the running flat. But there's no buy setup here as yet. But the sell, you can keep the entry order there. New Zealand CAD. Same pattern, but this one didn't break the top, so this sell is a good one. If it drops, take the trade. If it drops and it's not going very far, by rule, you know how to manage the trade. New Zealand Swiss. This kind of drop, but let it go back up. We have a sharp wave here, right? We have this sharp one. So let this go back up like that, make a running flat here, and then you can go for this trade from there. That would make more sense. Canadian. Still nothing. CAD Swiss. Okay, so we break through that thing, right? Wait for a flag, sell. If it makes a flag here, sell it. Right, but if you break through that, we're likely going to break through this low again. Right, so they broke through this, they came here, that turned out to be a consolidation, not going up, but dropping. You need a flag here, and then you can sell it. There isn't any flag there. I think on the 15, you need to make a small flag and go for the sell. If it keeps going up, it will be a running flat, right? If it keeps going up here, we'll make a flat here and then upside. So just wait with that. Swiss yen. Okay, that tagged and pulled back. No surprise. I hope if you take it, you can manage your way out of that. We're in this one. It will tag you, come back. We're expecting this move down or a sharp drop. Let's see. So let's say you're tagged in this trade. What would you do with it? Wait for it to pull back a little, close it. Any pullback, because this is predictable, right? Remember I said, not a fact that they'll break that up. So 2 things we can expect now. Either we come down back like this and then go, or they make one like this, like work its way down like this, go back up, retest the top, come here and then go. But we're looking for that sell setup now. So anybody in this one, by the way, so you can get out really quick. Don't waste the time again. Any pullback into this, close the trade. Nobody did, right? So if we get a flag, we'll sell. Any flag, I'll take this off since no one is in it. Any flag, sell. Wait for a flag, sell it. Any flag in here, we start selling. We want this to the downside. Yep, wait for the flag. I mean, from here, we've been saying we want this to the downside, right? So we want it to the downside. Now it's even more better. Any flag, sell. We're looking for this, and we're hoping it's going to go down faster than that. And this one, we had a sell set up. Good trade, drop nice, right? Anybody took the sell? We discussed this in details when somebody asked me if they want to buy it, right? And I said, nope, you go with the sell, forget about the buy. Well, nobody sold it, so we'll wait, right? See? I think this was a question somebody was asking if it makes sense. Well, you have to get a really big flag here. Beside that is next week. The sell is today, the buy is next week. Go back, watch the webinar. It's recorded, right? I think we recorded that, right? It wasn't after the webinar we discussed it. I hope it was recorded because it could have been after the webinar. We do stay after we stop the recording. We still stay here and trade and discuss trades. So you got a perfect flat downside. If you get another flag, sell it. Any other flag, sell it. That was an active sell. This thing could drop a lot, you know. This could keep dropping all evening without another flag. But if it makes another flag, sell. Natural gas. Okay, this could have tagged you. I hope you didn't get tagged. If you get tagged, you have to look for an exit. This will probably come back, give you a second chance at an exit. But like I said, if it doesn't, we were expecting this to go deeper and go, but the warning was, and go back, watch it. 1 flat, 2 flat, 3 flat, you think it's going to go far? We discussed that, right? I showed you, if it's making all these flats, it's not going anywhere. We're looking for this trade when it breaks the low. So it broke the low, it turned. Wait for a flag here and buy. I don't think anybody said, we didn't call it the sell, we just said it. But if you got tagged in the sell, close it. Right, you'll close it. Because it will come back, probably retest the low 1 or 2 more times. It's not a good sell. We didn't put anything on, so we didn't call the trade. We just showed you the low to break. This one is going to make a running flat. It's going up as expected, so it will probably come back here, make a flat, and then go back up there, and then we look for the sell. I don't see this dropping because this one is very sharp. If it's going to drop, put an entry on the low. This is an entry under the low. Keep the entry under the low. This one shouldn't come back so low to tag you and then go back up. It's going to break this low, but it likely should do this and go back up. You will probably want to stay a little away from this low. Or if you want to sell this, not the best idea, but if you want to sell it, then you have the skill levels. Why not? Makes sense, right? The trade you're expecting is this one. And if I'm wrong, it will drop much more. You're looking for this trade down. So if that is the start, wait for a small flag or under this one to drop here. And if I'm wrong, it drops to the bottom. So this is worth going for. If you're going to stay under the low, stay a little lower than that. I think you can try to get it from here. Let's see if it makes a flag in here. If it makes a small flag here, that's a good trade. US 30. Okay, you're getting a better setup for a sell, which is good. Similar to this, you can put the entry order here. Go for the sell. We didn't sell this because it came back to the top. And that's a caution. You always have to, be careful of that caution. Now you can sell. On there, you're making flags. That means a continuation. This should be the same thing. Yep, you're getting better setups here to sell. It might stay here a while more, but that's a sell setup. And this one. Why did I have a buy here when it's a sell setup? Sorry, didn't change it. Sell setup. This one actually is a very good one. But this is the impulse into it. Unless this thing go back all the way to the top there, it's a sell. And if you can get a flag earlier, better for the sell. Tesla. Okay, it's dropping a lot, but there is no sell setup in it. See, this is more of a buy setup. So it's either making a bigger flat or something, just leave it. I wouldn't sell it here. Let it break this low cut from, so it still is an upside. You can put the entry order here for the buy. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do that. Look for a buy setup somewhere here. It could go a little more down, but we're looking for a buy setup. And I can see this going down a little. I don't see the sell setup here. Looks more like a buy setup. And this one. You're waiting. This one doesn't have a setup. You're waiting for it. Right? You're waiting for something to buy. So it's more like wait for a setup to buy. This should be. Okay, it's a buy above that. It did break the low one more, so you can actually wait for this to make a correction and then buy. Okay, this is coming down, maybe running flat. It's not a perfect running flat. So if you took this buy, you close it, but this one is not going really. I don't think this is a running flat, although that's the only option you have. Leave the entry for the buy there. Let's see if it goes. By the way, that was a close and enter, right? On this one. I still like the buy. If it starts making a flag here, then we broke the top. So if it starts making flag here, we'll consider the sell. Nifty. Don't buy this top here until we break out of the structure. You want it to break out completely, then make another flag and then buy, because this might just tag the top here and then drop. Make a flag and go. If it breaks out here, make correction, then you go with that trade. Nasdaq already broke the low. Let's see. Which low? You mean this low here it broke? Oh yeah, you do have a point. That could be a reversal. So if this one is the correction, if that was all the correction and they drop here, they could be going up. So if it's going up, you'd still need a flag. It could still be a bigger correction. It could be still making like a much bigger correction in here, which means there might be more pieces to it, right? As a running flat, that's a possibility. So don't take out the sellers yet. Wait to see what it does. But if you're going to buy this, you definitely need a flag here if it's a reversal. So it's a flag. If they break the bottom, and think running flat for now, because this is still a big one. I think possible running flat in mimicking. Why is Nasdaq sell and Tesla? What has Tesla got to do with Nasdaq? I have no clue what you're talking about. We buy gold and sell silver. What's the big deal? What has Tesla got to do with Nasdaq, or Nasdaq got to do with Tesla? Those are two separate charts. They could go separate directions. So it doesn't matter. If you're assuming all of them is going to move in the same direction all the time, that is incorrect. I'll literally go show you some of them, right? Structurally, this is different. Structurally, we're looking at this structure here. See? We're looking at this 1, 2, 3, come back here, go back to the top. We're expecting this. See this one here? See this here? That's what we're doing here. So I'm assuming that this is going to come here. let's see if we get it. Go there, and then from there it could come back here. But first we wanted to go there. So if you sell here, the chances are it will tag you and then do that. This would be running flat, not expanding. This would be a running flat here. Right, that's what Tesla looks like. This is what Nasdaq looks like. 1, possibly 2, possibly 3 downside. So let's say this is going up. If this is going to go up, what you want to happen is you want this to start doing this. Come back to the top here. We'll take this off. We'll watch it drop here, and then we'll buy it. You'll get a flat like that, right? So I'm going to go slowly backwards so you can see a flat like that. See this one? That's one. Here's another one. Here's another one. 1, 2, 3. Here's another one. See when this dropped here? Let's put it here. When this dropped here, if this was making a flag at this point, if this was making a flag here, I would say to you, if that flag break, sell it. But when it come back to the top here, we take off the trade. We wait for this to come back down, make a new low here, and then we look for the buy setup. You're in the group, right? So you have to catch up with these things. So this, as of now, is a sell. Because if this drop, you don't want to miss it. See, structurally, they're different. Good, so get it now, let's go. Okay, what else we're looking at? I think we did all of this. Pretty much nothing more happened there. Let's look at Bitcoin just as a single one. It's going back up. Anybody who took the buy, you're doing well. Well, not as well as yet. You're just actually in it. I still think it will break the top. Just keep an eye on it. Make sure it goes. If it stays there too long, take it off. It's consolidating. Right? And all the cryptocurrencies actually have their, that possibility. So what we're going to do now, rather than I actually went through everything, we don't normally do it that way in the trading room. We'll go through the trades that are actually trades. And then we'll see where we go from there, right? Which one is breaking, which one is going still. So we do have a lot of setups. Nothing is really moving. Pong is coming down back, Aussie coming down back as expected. Let's see how they go. So if you're tagged in a trade, you still have like 1, 2, 3, 4 hours to make decisions. Especially if you're trading in the 1 hour to 50 minutes, you have time to make those decisions. There's no rush in making the decisions. If you're not tagged in a trade and you're going to walk away from the screen, you may want Friday afternoon, take off all your trades, right? Because if you're not going to be trading anymore, then there's no point keeping them on. We don't have any specific movement that can go very far right now. So they might tag you and go the opposite direction. You don't want that to happen. You want to be there to manage the trades while you're in them. So what we're going to do now is you tell me what trades you want me to look at. You can ask any questions you want to ask. We'll go ahead and we'll take them. Any questions you want, you can use your microphone. You can show me a chart. You can type your question, or you can ask whichever charts you want to look at specifically. Anything. Our traders, we are very quiet. You can participate now. Anything you guys want to look at, let's go. No charts, no question, nothing. Market is so quiet that everybody's quiet too. Gold. So let's look at gold and then I'll look at the NVDA for you. Okay, it's going down a little more here. We don't have any sell setup. If you're in the sell already from this morning here from the Asian session, good. If you're not in, there's nothing you can do about that. So the Asian session, remember I said, we'll take it to come back to about here. If you close it, it's okay. If you took the profit off, it's okay. But it's going down a little more. We'll think running flat. I still don't think this is the flat. If that is a running flat, this is the low. So think upside or wait for a flag here to sell. Because remember, this is the impulse down into that, right? This here from here, that's the impulse down. And unless this is a big running flat here, which I don't like. And if that's a big running flat, then this broke the low. We have divergence. Nobody says it doesn't go back up like this, right? And then come back. So wait for a flag here to confirm more downside or wait for the upside. Both will work. Oh, you're in the sell. I would not close it. I'll move my stop. If you're in the, move your stop on it. So let's see where you can put a safe stop. Okay, if they're consolidating in this range, right? They're consolidating in this, you can see they're doing that, right? They might come back to the top and the bottom here a while. You have to keep a stop somewhere here or somewhere here. But if you want to take profit at the bottom here, that's a good idea too, by the way. If it's consolidating, take the profit. You can take the profit here, put an entry a little away from that bottom because they might still tag the bottom a few times like this if you're making a flag to go down. If they're reversing, they could do that. So yeah, or take the profit and call it a day, that's all for today. I don't think today this is going to move anymore. Might just stay there. There is no really double bottom. That's not a terminology we use. That's mostly that's a technical terminology for technical traders, not wave analysis traders. Because it's actually breaking this low. That's mostly what you look at. This could be a reversal if that is a flat. If not, it's going to go back up for one more impulse. It's going to go back here for this one. Make this flat and then drop. So yeah, closing the trade there might make sense. What else? Pound. Okay, there's a lot from there. Let's go. Pound New Zealand, pound dollar. I'm closer to pound dollar. Let's do pound dollar. Good. Keep your entry here. If this stays here as a consolidation, we can consider buy. If you want an aggressive buy, put an entry here. Good. Here's the thing. If you don't know how to manage that trade or you don't understand the rules of that trade, don't do it. This is a very small flag, right? So my trade is you know exactly what that entry is and how to manage it, where your stop should be and how you should take it. That's a good trade. It's Friday afternoon. I wouldn't be here to give you any more advice on this trade. So better, if I can't advise you on how to do it, better don't take it. But my traders know the rules and the engagement of that. That's a very nice entry order for a buy. Should it take off like a rocket, you won the trade. Right? If that's a small channel, it's not enough pieces for a channel. It's just one drop. Normally channel gets over 4 or 5. Let's see. But you can go with a sell. So I'll change this to both ways. Now that we have both the buy and the sell on it. What else are we looking for? Gold, we did. Pound New Zealand. Let's see what Pound New Zealand is doing. We don't have anything on Pound New Zealand. Yeah, don't put anything there. This looks like a buy, but don't buy it. Not on the Friday afternoon. Because we still have 1, 2, 3 sharp waves. So probably don't trade that. Okay, anything else? Gold, pound, New Zealand. So let's look at the one you want to see now. We looked at this because I have a flat here that came and go back up. So it's going up. What was the question on this one? I just look at it for you. Well, we didn't break the stop loss yet, right? So as long as we haven't broken the stop, they can go more up. This could be a correction happening here. Let's see in the 15 minutes. Yeah, this could just be a correction. This thing has moved up without any correction. Assume that this is going to, if you get a flag here, sell. Because it could make a deeper correction. But it's correcting because we haven't broken that top, right? So the assumption is they will go break the top. So right now it's more like a correction, a bigger correction for upside. That's how I look at it. So if it makes a flag there, sell it. Short term. Okay, how do you differentiate the start of a B, of a running, and a flag? The start of a B of a running flat and a flag. I'm trying to understand your question to see how to, you will have to draw that for me. So start of a running flat. A B, you wouldn't know the start of a running flat. How would you know that? You have an impulse and this is the start of the correction. You don't know if it's going to be a running flat or not. You'll know if it's a running flat if it comes and break the bottom of this one, right? So you're coming down like that, you get an impulse here. If this is a correction, it comes, it has to break this low for you to even know it's a running flat. Once it starts here, it's a flag. Every start starts as a flag, right? And then it just grows down. So if you have an entry to buy here, you don't have to worry. Many times we actually did this in 2 or 3 trades yesterday, remember? Where we had an entry for a sell and it came down and broke the low. I think the euro did that. A few trades did that where it turned out to be more of a running flat and we're not in the trade. Right? So if you're thinking that's a flag that will go and then it come deeper, you're not in the trade. There's no differentiation. Maybe I'm missing your question, but you can't know if it's a running flat until it gets all the way to the bottom. Even if it's a start of a running flat, you wouldn't know. Right? You can't differentiate that by any means. It's a correction. Corrections could be as crazy as you want. You wouldn't know what that correction is doing at given time. All you have is a move by rule. You have a move, and then you're correcting that move. Rule number one, when you're going to get in my course, rule number one, as long as you haven't broke the top or the bottom of that move, you're in correction. Now, you can still break the bottom or the top and be in correction, but that's running or expanding flat. But as long as you haven't broke any side of it, you are in correction. That's rule number one. That's a gift for you. You know what rule number one is now. All my traders learned that the first thing. Rule number one, you're in correction. And I didn't say impulse. I said you're in a move. We don't know what that move is. Take any move at any point in the chart. You're in correction as long as you haven't broken the top or the bottom of that move. A Bitcoin in the daily. Bitcoin in the daily looks more upside. I think we're making here a running flat. So on the daily, we're correcting upwards. I think that's a corrective structure. I don't think we're going impulsively up because it's crawling up now. There are times when this started like this and then went up, right? This one started like this and then went up. This piece went slow and then went up. So question is, are we starting a slow move to go break the top? Who knows? Do I think this is all the correction? You can make an argument for this to be an expanding flat. I think we can all make that argument. That's an expanding flat. Enough for an expand. Time-wise, it's pretty good too, right? From here to here. And this one is crawling up slowly, and it's going to do this and slowly get to the top. Just like this one went after this flag. This one went like that. Before the flag, it went like this. So we don't know that. But as of now, if you ask me, it looks really slow and very corrective. So trade the little pieces at a time. And again, if you're a long-term investor, you don't have to keep the trades all the time. You can exit. You can use the 4-hour to enter and exit and do well. Make more money much more that way. Still don't have to trade every day. You don't even have to trade every week. If you use the 4-hour flags and correction to exit and enter the trade at the tops and bottoms. Okay, glad I did. I think you're trying to figure out if you should put an entry to buy the flag and if that flag doesn't become anything but a running flag. Well, don't worry about it. You see, the point of trading is not getting it right. Traders get this wrong. So since we're at the end of it, I'm going to give you another lesson, which is why you should watch all these videos to the end, because all the lessons come at the end. The point of trading is not being right. Traders tend to, and you know this, especially when I was in trading group, traders, when I would put a chart on it, right, everybody will jump and, oh, well, that's great, you got it right. The point is not getting the analysis right even. You have to get it right. That's the whole idea of trading, because that is what gave you the edge. But when you're trading itself is not about being right. The number one thing about trading is managing your trades correctly. You can click a trade for the wrong direction and get out for positive. And I'm not kidding you. You could click a sell where you were supposed to be buying, because the bigger picture is upside. And you can get out of that sell for positive. And if you join me, I'll show you how it's done. Because it's wave analysis. Remember, wave analysis does something like this, which gives you a hell of a lot of time to get in and out all directions, right? So if you understand how it's working, you master it. There are times when you might click a wrong trade and you get out for positive, but you're not trying to click wrong trade and get out for positive. You're trying to say, if I'm in a trade, let's say I got this and I got a perfect flag here. 80% of that time, this will do this. 99% of the time, it will do this, break the top. So if you're thinking of just breaking that top, almost 99% of the time it does that. 80% of the time it does this. And if you think with it, about 20% of the time when it does break the top, it does this. About 1% of the time it will go like this. Well, let's say 2. Let's go 98. Let's be a little more modest. 98% is going to do. Breaking that top is almost a must that happens. Why? I don't know, but that's how the orders tend to go. It's like they're searching for the orders, right? So think of this as an equilibrium point where everybody agreed to buy and sell at this price. We all agree we're buying and selling, and it's just going sideways within a small range. And then somebody decides to push a big order to buy, and for whatever reason, it punches out of the range. But as soon as it gets out of the range, everybody was like, wow, that's a good price, let's sell. And the sell drops it back really fast. Now, that's just to explain it. That's not what happened. That could be a manipulative method that the banks or whoever wants. I'm not going to say it's exactly a bank or whoever is participating in this, a central bank, a big bank, whatever the orders are, that could be a manipulative process that when they see it get there, they have their order ready to sell. So if you would like to sell a huge sum, you want to get it at the highest possible place. You want to get the best possible price for it. You have to make that trade today, right? You're selling $1 billion, whatever euro for, I don't know, for one of the big oil companies. And euro is actually trading in this range. But you would like to get a little better price for it. So you would like to sell it a little higher. As soon as it breaks out, what you do? You sell it. That could be enough to drop the price. If you're not doing that and naturally buyers are coming in, then it will go. That would be your trade. But you can't sit down and guess what's happening, right? You don't know what's happening. You don't have to know that. You just take the trade. And if it doesn't go, manage your way out of it. Trade management will be the number one thing you need to do. And if you were with us here today, I showed you that like 6 times. So when it's not going your way, you get out of it. When it's going good, that's your trade. You don't have to do it. There's a saying that I always come up with. The good trades will take care of themselves. Your job as a trader is to take care of the bad trades. You don't have to worry about the good trades. They'll take care of themselves. Professional trader means you are good at taking care of bad trades. That's what makes you a professional trader. Not making a good trade. Making a good trade, any fool can do that. Literally, anybody can come, and we have seen that happen many times, where somebody opens an account, go click, and wow, he's making money. 2 months after, what happens? He lost his account. Any fool can make a winning trade. It takes a pro to get out of a bad trade for the minimum amount of loss. And that's what we train you to do in this group. How to deal with your bad trades, not the good trades. You don't need me for the good trades. You click and it's going. What do you need anybody for? You just go take profit, right? You click buy and it goes your way. You click sell, it goes your way. You don't need anybody. You don't need any advisor. You don't need a coach. You don't need a trainer. You don't need to know wave analysis until you lose your account, and then you figure out what the hell just happened. We actually have a lot of traders in this group who would testify to exactly that thing, where they started trading and they were doing good, and then suddenly everything went wrong with them, and then they said, wait, what the hell is happening? This thing was going so nice. I thought I got it under control, and now it's not working the way I think it should do. So it's not about managing your account, managing your trade so you don't go into that big losses. Because when you put a trade on, you don't know what the outcome is. And you're never trading to control the outcome. You can't control the outcome. You can control the loss. You can control the process, right? Not the outcome. So there's a process for everything that we have. How to enter, how to manage, how to exit. Those are processes. Processes that you have total control over, right? You can totally control that at any given time. Enter, manage, close. The outcome of the trade when you enter, not your problem. You don't have control over that. You can have the best analysis in the world and it's going to go the wrong direction. Who cares? Management comes in. How do you exit? Where do you exit? and why do you exit. So when you learn to manage trades properly, then you learn to become a professional trader. Hope that helps. Okay, guys, with that, any questions before I leave? And I always ask you any questions before I leave, because a lot of traders, when they write me, they say, would I be able to ask you questions? And I know why they said that, because they were in a group previously where they were not allowed to ask questions. And if they do, they don't get any answer. So they're always like, can I ask you questions when I come to your group? I'm like, sure. And be careful what you ask for, because I will be asking you questions when you don't ask me anymore. So any questions, any charts, anything. If you're tagged in any charts right now, like let's say you're tagged in this one, you don't need to close this trade right now. This trade is still valid. It still go up. Right? Based on our rules, this could still go. But in 2 hours, if it doesn't go, or 3 hours, if it doesn't go, and by doesn't go, I mean a specific way, behavioral patterns, you would have to close it. Swiss. Okay, let's go look at Swiss. It's in the consolidation. If you, I don't know if you took the trade to the upside, the small one. And now it's making the flag, but if you take it, don't worry, it's still making a flag. I think it's making a small expanding flat here. Now you should put the entry order on, because it didn't have a flag before, but it's okay. It will go back up and you manage it. Keep a tight stop, because if it's in a correction, it's not going to drop suddenly too. Right? Kind of make a small one here. Keep a stop not under this one here. Right? Assume that's a running flat, keep a stop here. Because even if this comes and retests the low, it will go back up there. It will give you that chance. Now you can trade this flat. Should this go? That is it. You're in this correction, so you see how many times they pull back, and go. It's still go. Don't worry very much, you're going to get that. This is not going to drop today. So, okay, guys, it's Friday afternoon. I wish you all the best. Trade with care. Stay safe. That's the most important thing. The number one thing, my mother-in-law always said, you know, that when I was young, when I met my girlfriend, I was pretty young, and you always think the most important thing in life is love, right? If you have love, you're happy. My mother-in-law would always say, no, your most important thing is your health. And I was like, why your health? I mean, if you're in love, you're okay, right? That's like the most important thing you want when you're young, right? Because you have health and you're not thinking about it. But she was right. If you don't have health, what happens? Even love doesn't matter. Basically, if you're sick and lying in bed, I don't know, the only thing you want is your health. Because if you have health, you can make money, you can find love, and you can do everything else. So she was so true about it, right? And I was like, oh no, so much things, money more important, you know, love more important, all the different things. And you know what else I mean? All kinds of things are important to you when you're young. When you're 20, the last thing you're thinking about is your health. And that is the most important thing, because if you don't have health, you can't. So I care about you guys. I want you to be healthy, and I get worried when I don't see my traders around too long, because all kinds of crazy things happening in the world with pandemic and all this stuff, all kinds of sickness. So stay healthy. If you stay healthy, we can all be successful traders. Success is easy if you're healthy. Right? So if you're not healthy, you don't care about trading anymore. Who the hell is, if you're suffering from a sickness, why would you want to trade? That's the last thing in your mind. So stay healthy, and see all of you Monday. Right? Take care. Okay, guys, our traders, you guys can still go to the room. We have this news at 7. I don't know. You guys want to trade it in an hour? I don't think it will move the market. The market looks like it's end for the week. It's consolidating for the week. All these things are just going slowly sideways. They're not really going. So
Anil?
Yes, go ahead.
The CAD yen has moved.
CAD yen, let's see. Okay. So it moved a little. So now we still have to be careful of this flat. So only for flag, or if you want to put an entry order, go here. If you think this could go under this one, don't go under these, because this could still be a flat. I would still be worried to see the depth of that one. Could still be a flat and one more up. Right? Yeah. Did we break the top? Yeah, we broke the top, so it could drop. So if you think it's going to drop, keep it here. Let it prove it's going to drop through this. You want it to drop through this low as well. When it drops through this low, get it to break even, and you can step away. The trade to the downside is big. So if you're going for the big trade, put that entry, and when it breaks this low, because if it breaks that, it's going to break the low, right? If it breaks through this here now, it's definitely going to break through this low, right? So we will either think bigger flat here. If not bigger flat there, then downside. So if it's bigger flat there, if you think bigger flat there, then at this point, you get this to break even. Because it can stop right where it is now and go right back up. One more. Oh. So let's see. This is a good one. That's a yen movement or a CAD movement? That's a CAD movement. CAD going
CAD.
up. Yeah, CAD going up. So, okay, guys, everybody trade care. I'm going to see all of you. Hi, Johan. Glad you're here. We'll miss you for a couple of days. I'm glad all our traders are here, basically. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So, okay, guys, everybody stay safe. See all of you Monday. And to the traders who wouldn't be with us Monday, hope you can join us. If there's any specific reason you want, like, I mean, if you think $100 too expensive, I don't think, just let me know. Let's see what price we can set for you. We want you in the group. It's not so much about the money, it's about you being in the group and learning to trade the right way. So take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.